Let's take a look at the Marvel Legends Symbiote Spider-Man from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today our Marvel Legends reviews continue with this Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave, and in front of me we have another Spider-Man, and it is the updated Symbiote Spider-Man, as this is a very recent modern rendition of the Symbiote costume on Peter Parker himself. And as you can see, you get two Wilson Fisk heads there, two different expressions for the Kingpin Build-A-Figure, and again, that's the main reason I got this wave. I need a Kingpin in my collection. But it is the Symbiote Spider-Man with a new funky design, and we get some interchangeable hands, but not much else. I know a lot of people ain't liking those eyes because they flare out from the head sculpt, but again, we shall have a look at that when I open them up. So on the side, we get a cartoon picture of the Symbiote Spider-Man, and there's those eyes I was telling you about. They sort of flare out from his head. And on the back we get a product shot, a little write-up, and as always you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to complete the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Symbiote Spider-Man. So again, it's Spider-Man in a black suit. I'm going to rehash one of my Who Is He segments for this video as well and explain the Symbiote costume. But first and foremost, we need to open him up. And here we have the Symbiote Spider-Man out of the box. And to be fair, I've always liked the Symbiote costume on a sleek Spider-Man figure. It's just black and white, it's simple, it's smart, it pops on the shelf. And I've always liked the character design. And I know this is like a modern, updated version of Peter Parker reforming with the symbiote. And again, it's just a little bit sleek. And I know some people didn't like the eyes, but they are accurate to the comics. And I like how the design goes all the way through the arms. Even when you articulate the shoulders, the design stays with those lines, which is a nice touch. He also comes with two interchangeable hands, so you can have two claws or two fists. So pick your preference. So I'll show you that real quickly. So there we have him with two claws. And again, or you can have him with two fists or swap, whatever your preference is. There is no right or wrong answer, of course. But yeah, they are the only accessories he comes with, an extra pair of hands. He does, of course, however, come with the Build-A-Figure piece for Kingpin. So if I zoom in real quick, here we have Wilson Fisk, the blank expression of the Kingpin. And then the interchangeable head we get is angry Wilson Fisk. So we do get two heads for the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. So obviously come back to the channel for a full review of that guy once I've got the rest of the figures. So yeah, check out the playlist and all of that good stuff. So not much to say about this figure. It is basically just a redesign of the Pizza Spider-Man body mold in a different symbiote design. His feet have like that sort of jackal claw effect, or that definitely weren't on the Pizza Spider-Man. And again, these hands have that sort of claw element to them as well. I'm sure there's reuse again, but I'm terrible at playing that game of where the reuse come from. So let me pull in the old Symbiote Spider-Man so you can see for yourself. So that's how my one was posed on the shelf for the time being. I'm going to get him standing up straight. Yeah, move his arms away. As you can see, seems they're on the same body mold, or am I wrong? I might be wrong. This may be on an... No, I don't know. I'm terrible. You tell me. You tell me. Are they on the same body mold? I think they are. Maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but definitely got different feet. This one you can see is claw toes, and these ones are like flat foot. Can you swap the heads around? I know if people wanted to know that. So let's try that. Should do if they're the same body mold. And yeah, there you go, it clips in. So if you don't like the eyeballs flying off the face, you can put the old symbiote head on and have it like that. And I don't hate that, to be fair. That looks pretty good like that. And again, I like the lines, to be fair. The lines are quite sharp all the way around. Considering it's black and white, they've done a decent job. It doesn't look too sloppy at all. Maybe I just should show you that real quickly, if it will focus. See, the lines are quite sharp. No fuzziness. And again, I like that spider on the back. And again, when you articulate on the front or back, the pattern stays in. the shoulders, which is a nice touch. So let me swap the head back to the original. Make sure it clips in place. There you go. Again, they do flare off. White background is probably not the best idea, but you can see the soft rubber there. So they do flare off a little bit. You get the point. You get the point. So, usually this is the part of the video where I would do a Who Is He segment. But back in 2016, when I first started reviewing on YouTube, I did the Sandman Build-A-Figure wave, where this guy originally come from. And I put together a Who Is He segment even way back then when I was hardly getting views on my videos. So what I'm going to do is replay you the Who Is He segment of how Peter Parker ends up in a symbiote suit. Now this is the part of the video where we ask the question, who is he? Now spoiler alert, Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker. I know, shocking, but let me explain to you how he got his black suit. This infamous black suit is actually the symbiote costume. Now it was first seen by fans in Amazing Spider-Man 252, but chronologically he actually got his suit in Secret Wars number 8 in 1984. Now during these events, Spider-Man's costume gets damaged, and I think this is the moment where Thor points out to him some machinery that can replicate any type of fabric. All you have to do is think about it. So Spider-Man goes to the machine, starts thinking, and produces his black fear, and it soon engulfs him in this brand new black suit, even though Spider-Man claims that wasn't what he was thinking about. So long story short, this black suit actually turns out to be the symbiote, and it's a life form that wants to permanently bond with Peter, and it can mimic all of his Spider-Man abilities. So back on Earth, again skipping over lots of stuff, the black suit eventually starts to have a negative impact on Peter's life. Seeking help, Peter goes to Reed Richards of the Fantastic Four, and they use sonic waves to remove the symbiote from Peter's body. On a funny side note, without a costume to get home in, Johnny Storm gives him an old Fantastic Four costume and a paper bag to put over his head, which leaves him with this bombastic bagman look that you might be aware of. Back to the symbiote, it escapes and finds its way back to Peter Parker. It hides in his closet as a normal Spider-Man costume and then successfully reattaches to Peter. Panicked, he swings to a nearby church and rings the bells to try and replicate the sonic waves that Reed Richards originally used. The symbiote detaches from Peter and then, skipping over some stuff, saddened by Peter's rejection, finds its way to Eddie Brock, forming, you guessed it, Venom. I just wanted to mention real quick as well that Spider-Man has worn black suits in the comics that weren't the symbiote, including one made for him by the Black Cat because she said it made him look more sexy. You decide. There you go, so I hope that helped. Again, I do not claim to be an expert, but it is nice to have a little bit of information about the characters these figures are inspired by. And yes, I'm a cheater, I reused that Who Is He segment, but still, it was an old one, not many people have seen it, and it does give you a decent breakdown of the symbiote costume. So, I've already reviewed that symbiote with this symbiote, so like old, modern, but there we have the OG himself, Venom, what it all led to. I've just realised as well, my leg seems to be a little bit warped there on Eddie Brock. He's like broke his knee. So that needs to be sorted out. But still, you can see the height comparison there. And I do prefer the white on black here. It's a lot sharper than it is on here. This just seems a bit more duller. But yeah, like the figure a lot. So as only one other comparison, as I'm sure you can get the gist of the size and all that, here is the figure I've already reviewed from this wave so far. And it is the 6-armed Spider-Man. Again, still very undecided if I like that figure or not. So you let me know in the comments below, do you like this new symbiote Spider-Man? Are you a fan of the modern costume? Are you reading the modern books? I did read them for a while, but I stopped in the middle of last year, so now I have no idea what's going on in the Amazing Spider-Man. But yeah, I do quite like this comic design, and those eyes don't bother me too much at all. So, and if they do, you can always swap the head with that one. So yeah, let me know in the comments below, are you a fan? And as always, people, check out the videos tab for all my other reviews. And as always, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much. And as always, I shall see you on the next one.